Don't Kiss Me Goodbye, Chapter 1, The Weight of Shadows. The Ferry Kittitas shuddered against the swell of Puget Sound, its engines thumping rhythmically like a heartbeat echoing against the gray sky. You leaned against the cold metal railing, the wind tossing your dark trail duster and your fedora clinging stubbornly to your head. The salty tang of the sea mingled with the scent of impending rain, an ominous prelude to the unsettled atmosphere swirling around you. You took a long drag from your Palladino, the smoke curling up and dissipating into the air, mingling with the memories that began to surface, memories of a life you had walked away from, a life that had clawed its way back to you with a phone call from Ronald Stolsky. The retired detective's voice had been steady, but the urgency was unmistakable. Copper, it's a cold case gone hot. A junkie's dead, and it's not what it seems. I need you back in Seattle. 8 years had passed since you'd last stepped foot in this city, and yet the skyline loomed large, a tangled web of glass and steel that seemed to mock your return. You tightened your grip on the flask hidden in your pocket, feeling the familiar burn of whiskey as you took a swig, hoping to drown the echoes of Jasmine Blade's case that still haunted you. Hey man, you got a smoke? A frail young man approached, his eyes sunken and desperation etched into his features. You glanced down at the pack in your hand, hesitating only for a moment, before you slid a cigarette out and handed it over. Take it easy, you muttered, watching him fumble with the lighter, the flame flickering like hope in a dying world. He nodded, mumbling a thanks before shuffling away, leaving you alone with your thoughts once more. The world around you pulsed with the chaotic sounds of urban life, laughter, honking horns, and the soft lapping of waves against the hull. Yet you felt detached, an observer in a play where you had lost your role. As the ferry docked, the thrumming of engines ceased, replaced by the shouts of passengers eager to disembark. You joined the throng, stepping onto the gangway, the chill of Seattle's damp air washing over you. That's when you saw her, a striking woman with thick, fiery, silky red hair cascading around her shoulders, her midnight blue eyes locking onto yours with an intensity that sent a jolt through you. Copper Steele, she asked, her voice smooth like honey, yet holding an edge that piqued your curiosity. Depends on who's asking, you replied, trying to keep your voice steady despite the flutter in your chest. I'm Shania Savage, she said, extending a hand, her smile both inviting and enigmatic. I was hoping you'd show. You shook her hand, feeling the warmth of her skin against yours, a stark contrast to the chill in the air. You've got me at a disadvantage. I didn't expect to see anyone, let alone a former detective. Old friends are worth the surprise, she quipped, her gaze lingering on you with an intensity that sent a shiver down your spine. Let's get moving. I'll call a ride. As she pulled out her phone, the bustling atmosphere of Pike Place Market enveloped you, a cacophony of voices and vibrant colors. You walked side by side, the air thick with the mingling scents of fresh produce, roasted coffee, and something else. Foul that twisted into your gut. Do you smell that? You asked, glancing at her. She nodded, her expression shifting momentarily. Yeah, it's been getting worse. I think it's coming from the docks. Drugs, you ventured, your heart racing at the implications. You had been away too long, and already the familiar dread was creeping back in. Could be, she said, her eyes narrowing as she watched a group of men loitering by the crates. There's been a rise in overdoses lately. The city's struggling. Sounds like a case for a detective, you said, trying to keep the conversation light. But the weight of her gaze made your heart clench. Or a couple of them, she countered, her smile returning, yet you sensed an undercurrent of tension. You couldn't shake the feeling that this meeting was more than a mere chance. You continued walking, the sounds of the market fading into the background as you focused on her, how the sunlight caught the golden flecks in her eyes, how her laughter rang like a bell. So what's the deal, Shania? You're not just here for a reunion. She hesitated, then bit her lip, revealing a hint of vulnerability. You're right. There's been a homicide tied to the missing person case, and I thought you might want to help. Diving right into the deep end, huh? You said, a half smile breaking through your uncertainty. Life's too short for small talk, she shot back, her tone playful. Yet there was an edge to it, a seriousness that weighed heavily in the air. You both stopped at the edge of the market, the vibrant stalls bustling with life, but your mind was elsewhere, focused on the growing shadows of danger surrounding the case. Who's the victim? Josephine Archer, a former addict found dead in an alley behind a bar. It's not just her death, it's what it represents. And with the mayoral campaign heating up, we can't let this get swept under the rug. You opened your mouth to respond, but before you could, she leaned in, her lips brushing against you in a kiss that felt both electric and dangerous. Your mind whirled, caught between the pull of her warmth and the gnawing dread that filled your gut. "Wow," you said, pulling back, your heart racing. That was unexpected." "Just a little motivation," she replied, a teasing glint in her eye. "You're back in Seattle, Copper. Let's not waste any time." Before you could respond, she turned, tapping her phone. "My ride is here. Come on." The car pulled up, and as Shania slid into the back seat, you felt a strange mix of excitement and apprehension. You followed her inside, the scent of leather and something floral wafted around you. As the driver pulled away, you glanced out the window, watching the cityscape blur past. "What's your angle?" you asked, the question slipping out before you could restrain it. "Angle?" she echoed, a smirk forming on her lips. "You think I'm some femme fatale luring you back into a life of crime?" "Something like that," you replied, your gaze unwavering. "I know the game, and I know when someone's hiding something." She laughed, a sound that brightened the atmosphere, yet left a lingering question in the air. "You're not wrong, but I'm not your enemy. We're on the same side here." "Then tell me the truth, Shania." You leaned closer, her voice low. "Why now? Why me?" "Because," she said, her expression turning serious, "you're the best at what you do. And this case, it's personal to me. I can't let it slip through the cracks." You studied her, searching for the truth behind her midnight blue eyes. "And the kiss? Was that just part of your plan?" Her laughter faded, replaced by a weighty silence. "Maybe it was to remind you not to kiss me goodbye again," she said softly, her gaze locking onto yours with an intensity that left you breathless. The car pulled to a stop outside a quaint coffee shop, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee wafting toward you. "Let's get some air, clear our heads before we dive into this," she suggested, her tone shifting back to lightheartedness. You stepped out, the rain beginning to fall, gentle droplets dancing upon your skin. The world around you felt alive, and yet beneath it all, the shadows loomed closer. As you entered the coffee shop, the electric crowd buzzed with conversations, laughter, and the comforting clatter of cups. You found a small table in the corner, the dim light casting soft shadows around you. "Coffee or something stronger?" Shania asked, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "Coffee for now," you replied, your mind racing. "I need to think." "About what?" she pressed, her curiosity palpable. "About how we're going to untangle this mess," you said, watching her intently, "and about the past I thought I'd left behind." Her expression softened, the playfulness slipping away. "You don't have to face it alone, Copper. I'm here for you." You took a deep breath. The weight of her words settled over you. "Thanks, but I can't shake this feeling. Something seems off. The city feels different, feels darker." "Maybe it's just the ghosts of the past coming back to haunt you," she said, her voice low. "But we can confront them, together." You nodded, the tension in the air palpable as you both considered the shadows looming ahead, and as you sipped your coffee, the bittersweet taste mingling with the uncertainty of the path before you. One thing became clear. You were about to step into a world where danger lurked at every corner, and the stakes had never been higher. With Shania by your side, you felt a flicker of hope amidst the encroaching darkness. But deep down, you knew that facing the past would require more than just courage. It would demand the strength to comfort the demons that had been left unresolved far too long. And as the rain began to fall harder outside, you steeled yourself for the battle to come.